As the person responsible for leading Tesla through its transition from Silicon Valley startup to globally recognized brand, Elon Musk, to many people, is Tesla. And despite how you feel about the founding of Tesla and whether or not you view Elon as a founder of the company, the guy who swooped in to save it, or something else completely, it is hard to imagine a world in which Elon Musk is not part of Tesla. Just like the late Steve Jobs and his time leading Apple, both first and second time around, Elon Musk is capable of creating a quote-unquote reality distortion field around both himself and Tesla. Just as Steve Jobs used a reality distortion field to convince colleagues, customers, and the media that anything he said or promised was possible, plausible, and most importantly, essential for the future of computing, so too does Musk's reality distortion field do the same thing for electric cars, clean energy, and Tesla. It's that vision and drive, the ability to intuitively know what the customer base wants and then convince them they need it in their life, that has helped Tesla become the company it is today. And it's Tesla's disruptive attitude towards service, sales, vehicle design and engineering that has allowed Tesla and Elon Musk to follow through on some of the things promised. Few people today remember or even care about the Lightspeed X1, an exquisitely engineered all-electric conversion of the Ariel Atom as built by Ian Wright, one of the co-founders of Tesla. It proved, without a shadow of a doubt, that electric cars did not need to be slow and boring. But everyone remembers the Tesla Roadster, a car that on paper was slower than the Lightspeed X1, but thanks to Elon Musk's leadership, was not only quick and sleek, but desirable too. Since then, under Elon Musk's leadership, Tesla has gone from strength to strength, and Elon Musk has achieved something of a godlike status among some loyal fans and customers. At the same time, Elon Musk's persona has changed, switching from that of a brilliant yet socially awkward tech mogul into a self-proclaimed meme lord. And in recent months, his online trolling, joke-cracking, and apparent lack of filter has put Elon Musk in the spotlight for all of the wrong reasons. So today, we are asking that controversial question that we know will create a lot of discussion. Is Elon Musk's recent behaviour damaging Tesla's future? No, we are not going to give you an answer, but we are hopeful in discussing the various points at play. We're going to make it easier for you to give us your answer in the comments. Before we get there, a reminder that the videos we bring to you are made possible by people like you. By hitting subscribe and dinging the bell, as well as checking your preferences for this channel, you'll know the moment we post a new video. And more views means we keep the algorithm happy. Oh, and if you would like to support us financially from just under $1 a month, I'll tell you how at the end of the video. When a company CEO is so embedded into a company and their excitement, bravado, optimism and marketing prowess have played such an important part in making the brand what it is, it's hard to know where the individual ends and the company starts. And that's the situation we find ourselves in with Tesla and Elon Musk. Incredibly intelligent and gifted, Musk is known for always being at work and always having a new idea or concept just noodling around in his head. That drive has enabled Musk to become the serial entrepreneur he is today, as well as being the richest person in the world. Elon's drive and personality most certainly helped Tesla get where it is today. But is he now damaging the brand? Well, the answer depends on whom you ask, because opinions vary widely depending on if you're an institutional investor, stock analyst, Tesla customer, superfan, or just a general member of the public. And because of recent things said by Elon Musk on Twitter, your political affiliation may, or indeed may not, play a part in your overall outlook. To look at this in a very generalized way, let's look at some of the things that Elon has said or done of late, and look at some of the reactions of the various groups of people in the EV world that may have an opinion on Elon Musk and Tesla. As I'm sure you know, Musk's favourite way of interacting with people seems to be through Twitter, a platform he's quite prolific on, and a platform which, again, I'm sure you already know, he's currently trying to buy for a massive sum of money. That purchase plan is embroiled in its own controversy, though, since Elon has been railing against Twitter for some time, increasingly calling the company out for allegedly stomping on the freedom of speech. It comes after a particularly tumultuous year in which Twitter banned many well-known conservative voices, including that of former President Donald Trump, for a variety of breaches of its user agreements, including spreading information that was false, attacking other users, and, at the most extreme, incitement of violence. Musk has been talking about the evils of, quote, the woke mind virus, and he's been posting memes that have taken potshots at plenty of different groups, from politicians around the world to other automakers, those who identify as Democrats, and minorities like the LGBTQ community, making flippant jokes about pronouns, gender identity, and the trans community. And to the dislike of many on the political left, he has not made much in the way of comment on the subject of reproductive rights or the rights of trans children, noting instead that he moved to Texas because its policies better fitted his ideals than California, and when pushed, stating, quote, in general, I believe government should rarely impose its will upon the people, and when doing so, should aspire to maximize their cumulative happiness. That said, I would prefer to stay out of politics, end quote. Which may be how he felt at the time, but since then, things have become shifted. He's spoken up recently against politicians or policies that he disagrees with, such as an increase in taxation for capital gains or EV purchase incentives. He's railed against California's strict mask mandate and lockdown at the start of COVID-19, and has called for an increase in natural gas and oil drilling in a world where supply chains are being disrupted by inflation and the ongoing war in Ukraine. With the Twitter purchase currently on hold, Musk says he wants proof that less than 5% of Twitter users are not bots before finalising the purchase. Although Tesla's recent share drop won't help make that purchase happen, there's some question as to exactly when or if the Twitter purchase will go ahead. But if it does happen, Musk has promised a platform where freedom of speech is paramount, and verification of users will weed out bot and spam accounts. He's also hinted at reinstating the accounts of many who had previously been banned for their past conduct on the platform. And look, I know there's plenty I've not mentioned here, such as Musk's continued work to ensure that SpaceX can send Starlink terminals to Ukraine, not to mention sending Tesla Powerwalls to help essential facilities to continue to operate in the war zones. But for the most part, the subjects I've mentioned here are the ones that have attracted the most headlines. Last week, Musk announced something that wasn't exactly unexpected, but still caused a stir. He announced he would be voting Republican in the next general election, noting that he felt the Democratic Party had become the party of hate and division. Politically, Musk has always painted himself as a libertarian, someone who views governments as an inconvenience and someone who would rather governments only step in if absolutely necessary to resolve some problem or other. He's traditionally been in favour of universal basic income and for a while supported Andrew Yang in the 2018 Democratic presidential primaries. And to be fair to Elon Musk, he's recently noted that he'd rather a more centrist option existed, but the news certainly seemed to have a knock-on effect. Tesla's stock value has been following a general downward trend since Elon Musk agreed to buy Twitter, in fact, long before it. And on paper, there are a bunch of external reasons why that is the case, from the general downward trend of the overall stock market of late to Musk's ongoing battle with the SEC. Yet, despite a really good first quarter with some record-breaking figures, Tesla's stock price has generally headed south. And if the company usually does well when the stock market doesn't, as Tesla has done in the past, we think there might be something else going on. We think some confusion and concern over Elon Musk's recent behaviour is partly to blame. But what I feel I need to make clear is that the fact that reactions really do vary depending on who you are and who Elon Musk is to you. Those who know Elon Musk well, and I do mean personally, seem to be split fairly evenly between those who are very supportive of his recent actions and those who are gravely concerned. I don't want to betray the confidence of the various folks I've talked to in the EV world who know Elon personally, but at least one person who knows Musk has been told where to go when they express concern over his health and well-being. Tesla owners in general also seem split. The longer you have been a Tesla owner, it seems the more likely it is that you have some issues with Elon's recent behaviour. But that doesn't mean all early Tesla owners have an issue. Far from it. Many are big investors in the company and have no intention of selling their stock because without Tesla and without Elon Musk, we'd not be where we are today in the EV world. And frankly, if you got into Tesla at under $30 a share, it's most likely a sizable amount of your retirement fund rests on Tesla's success. There's also a complication among individual long-term customers when it comes to their willingness to put up with Tesla's failing after-sales and service reputation. While some customers are on first-name terms with their Tesla service reps and have a good rapport, others report feeling increasingly frustrated with Tesla's focus on newer, more fancy models. But again, to be completely fair and impartial here, that issue is not exclusive to Tesla. I mean, it's perfectly normal for the majority of automakers and auto dealers to focus their after-sales support on newer cars than it is for them to focus on older ones, because frankly, they want you to trade that older car in for the new hotness. Before we leave long-term Tesla owners, the early adopters of the brand, I feel I should also throw in an acknowledgement here that very many of those early adopters of Tesla were those who tended toward a more democratic political mindset. Again, this is not a blanket thing for sure. I know plenty of people who aren't registered Democrats who own Teslas and have done for many years, but it's certainly more common among early adopters. And lest I upset fiscal conservatives, I also feel it's important to note here that there are plenty of fiscal conservative people who are more socially liberal who also got into Tesla in the early days, who are similarly upset with Elon's latest proclamations. And let's not forget that while it might seem impossible in a normal, carefully considered world, it's very easy to like a product or a company but have issues with the person running said company, or indeed vice versa. It's even possible to generally like a company and its leadership, but just have an issue with just one product. At the end of the day, it's not a zero-sum game, but many treat it as such, which leads me to the so-called Tesla stans. Those have earned that colloquial moniker after the superfan known as Stan in Eminem's third rap album track of the same name. These are the superfans, folks, who are more than happy to go along with the crowd and who rarely question Elon Musk's leadership, his motive, or the companies he runs. For many of them, Elon is simply fighting in a war against big oil, legacy automakers, journalists, the US government, and any other group seeking to destroy or slow down the transition to cleaner, greener vehicles and energy. And yes, depending on whom you listen to in the comments section on an almost daily basis, we here at the channel are part of that dark cabal. I mean, we've been literally accused of everything from child pornography and being short sellers to secretly taking money from Detroit to end Tesla once and for all. While not all superfans are quite as far down the rabbit hole as others, a typical Tesla stan isn't interested in the discussion of the finer points of an article, but rather in fighting for the honour of Tesla and or Elon Musk. They can, frankly, be obnoxious or dangerous. Several years ago, one of them hacked into our server and deleted footage on a commercial we were working on. And since then, we've had some death threats come our way and threats to dox me, or in fact, out the team. So, I'm not going to lie, it's difficult for us to be impartial in our coverage of this particular group, but hopefully we've tried to do our best. Many of the people in this group have also made significant amounts of money off Tesla's success and want to ensure that Tesla can continue to grow along with Elon Musk's other companies. They will fight tooth and nail to see it happen and will do everything from increase their portfolio with Tesla stock or even order new vehicles simply to see Tesla succeed and beat the naysayers and legacy auto. At this point, you've probably noticed that I've covered one extreme here, so let's look at the other. The short sellers, just as rabid in their convictions as Tesla stands, they want to do absolutely everything they possibly can to short Tesla stock, to prove Tesla is not all that in a bag of crisps. And again, they fight tooth and nail against Tesla stands online. They sometimes go by the name of Tesla Q, another thing that we've actually been accused of being multiple times, and they will stop at nothing to see their position play out. The problem is, as I'm sure you can see, is that this ongoing battle between two diametrically opposed, equally passionate groups means everyone else gets caught in the middle. And sadly, history doesn't help. Historically, it is fair to say that electric cars have been attacked by legacy auto and oil. Who killed the electric car, while an amazing film has become something of a battle cry even today for the reasons why we should ignore all of the non-Teslas and only buy from new EV companies, which I'd actually argue was never the reason behind the original film. Even though there's far more granularity today than there once was, not a month, maybe even a week goes by without someone somewhere in the comments section telling us to watch Who Killed the Electric Car, as if we haven't. Hint. I know the director, and I've seen that film plenty, and while some automakers are still playing dirty tricks, the whole EVs against the rest of the world isn't as black and white as some people would have you believe. Yet the shorts and their position galvanise the stands, and the perpetual fight continues, leaving early owners and new owners alike caught in the crossfire. Since Elon's public Twitter stream has taken a turn towards the right, we've also noticed another group of people joining in the fight, those who politically align with the current Republican Party, folks who are less than happy about the 2020 presidential election, folks who originally were often anti-EV, but who now find an ally in Elon Musk. They're choosing Teslas above other brands, and a recent study by Morning Consult showed that more Republicans today are buying Teslas than ever before. Although, again, caution, more people are buying Teslas than ever before, and frankly, as electric vehicles become more and more and more mainstream and the cost of gasoline continues to rise, we are going to see more people who would traditionally not have considered an EV going electric. Because at the end of the day, your bank balance really doesn't care who you voted for, and a smart financial move is a smart financial move. The final group I want to touch base on are the institutional investors, and while shorts can move stock, and Elon Musk's Twitter stream can move stock, something he's still in trouble for with the SEC, institutional investors are the ones that hold the largest stakes in companies. We're talking about retirement funds, mutual funds, and wealth funds that are in no hurry to make a quick buck, but rather get sizable returns on long-term investments made years ago. Elon's apparent distraction with Twitter, although he maintains it's taking up less than 5% of his time, combined with last week's sexual assault allegations, which Musk fervently denies, means that the focus is on Elon Musk rather than on Tesla and its stock. Elon's Twitter stream has become less and less about the companies he runs, and more about political posturing or meme posting. And this last weekend, Musk's announcement that he was looking to assemble a legal team, which, yes, some folk took as a hint that Tesla would be coming after news outlets, and told us as much, in addition to telling us to stop, quote, spreading lies about Elon, unquote, points to a CEO who was focused on things other than running the business. And that really upsets institutional investors. That adds risk that they are not willing to endure. Add in a change to Tesla's focus from cars to robotics, and I think many larger investors are starting to question Tesla's long-term prospects with Elon at the helm. Which leaves us where? I think it leaves us in a very complicated quagmire. Tesla stands and Tesla Q are continuing to fight one another, and frankly, I think they may continue to fight each other until the end of time. But everyone else? Well, a brand that once set itself apart from traditional automakers and large corporations, a brand that wanted to be different and make a difference, may be being tainted by its CEO, and depending on your own political, ideological, and economic positions, you're either loving it or hating it. Let us know in the comments which it is for you. That's it for today. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to leave your thoughts below or in our free to join Discord chat room. There are links in the description. If you want a more generalised news roundup in the world of cleaner, greener, safer and smarter vehicles, do check out our news roundup show every weekend. And don't forget, we produce videos every single day on this network for you to enjoy, ranging from deep dives and features to tutorials, unboxings and reviews. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel and to our other channel, Transport Evolved Take 2, and give the bell a gentle ring to make sure you're told when our next video goes live. Thanks on behalf of the entire TE crew go out to the folks on my right for being our $15 to $49 a month supporters. Special thanks to our $50 a month patrons, Chris Maxwell, Pedro Mura Pinheiro, Patrick Boyarski, Bennett Elder, Brian Newton, Dave Kitchen, Michael Goad, Ricky Leon, Andrew Martin, Guido Drahota, Brophy Wolf, Tesla in the Gong, Gordon C, Stephen O'Donoghue, Carl Hodgson, Anthony Coates, Ray Jane Fellows, Rory Litwin, Jim Burness, Chris Asenta, Chris and Michael Johnson, Peter Dillinger and Denny Hyde, and our deepest gratitude to our $100 a month Patreon supporters: Anonymous Freak, Marcel Ward, Reggie Watts, Joe Bresney, Reed R, JP Fagerback, Russ, John Lyons, Will Graylin, Matthew Drobnak, John Lyons, Christopher Lee Jones, Andrew Glenn, Paul Conway, Laura Reynolds, Ellery Hensley, and Ian. If you would like to be part of that amazing list, you can join Patreon at the link below, hit the join button to support us on YouTube, or show us your support through Ko-fi or by buying something from our cool swag store, like our Pride t-shirts. And if you're unable to support us financially, just know that watching the video and sharing it really makes a difference to our ad revenue. Thanks for joining me, and as always, keep evolving!